Yeah.
He's coming. It's late. Um, See if he can start to help you. But there's also a Wix support. Yeah, we need to definitely do that, and it's frustrating. So is that the only thing you basically did it? We can look at it again together.
Well, like the whole site is just so we're gonna have to do
Yeah,
all four parts now
I don't. I
over
don't
again.
know. I don't know what the issue is. Did you save it? Were
Yeah,
you?
we
Are you the
published it.
creator, Johan?
Yeah,
So it's your credit card.
and it was there. Yeah.
Did you try a different browser?
What you mean, like a Safari?
Yeah, like Chrome. What are you using to
Chrome.
game? Chrome. So try just a different browser just for the heck of it.
I mean, it would be the same, right? It's in my account, not in the.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just try a different and try that URL again because you publish it. This is the front facing that you're having a problem with, or the back end?
No, there's problems with the URL and the actual site as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it may be a way in which you may have to contact support. They have a support number. They have a support number, and it's even in text mode. And they can call you back because we're upgraded. We get specialized support
Okay.
because it may be, you know what I mean. It may be on their end. I don't have access.
Okay.
That's the problem with Johan. We'll work it out together. Don't worry about it. But document
Okay.
it, Johan. Anytime we have an issue, you almost get credit for documenting the issues, right? Because it's beyond your
Okay.
control. So don't freak out too much. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Okay.
always it's good to, even when you're doing things, is keep on recording it, just like we're recording.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
don't have
mean?
the
So at
recording
least
of
you
it.
know that you've done it. You have some proof that you've done it. Here's this what it looks like. This is what happens in reality, right? When we even have a question on cloud computing, what are the benefits and what are the disadvantages? Those are probably the disadvantages. Is that you're not hosting it yourself on your machine on premise, right? You're hosting it in Wix's cloud. It's out of your control. So this is the first time I heard about something like this.
Okay.
That it hasn't. So let's take one is take a deep breath. Two, document what the issues are. So even do a recording, right? Of these are the issues. This is what it's looking like. I see it at the back end. When I go, I said save. When I publish, now when I go to my URL on the front end, it gives me this error message. You need to document that anyways, because if you go to support, you're going to have to show them, and they're going to
Yeah.
have to see what are the issues,
Okay.
right? And this is what we're doing, and then you reported it on a timely basis. It's not like the the time that you have to do a presentation, right? And I never heard from you, right? You're documenting as you go along. And some things I have, you have no control over, and I have no control over. We can see what the problem is, and it may be on their back end, of Wix. But I would first do this, even during this class, Johan. Go to the Wix, the support, right? Go to the place on support and find and document already, send out that this is your error. And you want them to hopefully have somebody contact you back, or at least in text mode, and tell them when you're available. Do it now so you're in the queue, that you've upgraded. You got it, Johan? Because in the past, when I've had problems, they've called me back, you know? And then they also have a chat text mode. Okay, always issues that we have. Everybody have their camera on. We'll be talking about Sebastian, does your Wix URL work?
I should. I updated this morning, so I'm assuming.
Okay, check on to see if you're. Can you do me a favor, Sebastian? Just go into your website, just because Johan was having problems that they were saying there was an error. So I just don't want. I want to see whether it is just particular to his group, or it's a Wix problem, you know, because sometimes servers are down for the entire company.
I typed our URL in, and it worked, but now I'm gonna click the link that I uploaded.
Okay.
Let's see if that works.
To make sure that everything works.
Yeah, that link also works.
Okay. So maybe just something, a quirk with Ashton's. That's the issue of when we're dealing with cloud computing, we have problems. Okay, so hopefully everybody's getting their camera online. I'm going to start recording. I'm going to record to the cloud. So if I record to the cloud, Johan, it means that Zoom's cloud has to be accepting that, right? Working. That's the disadvantage. When Zoom is down, I don't get access to my computer. That's why a lot of times people like recording to your own computer. And of course, my computer, I could have issues with my computer as well. But I can gain access to it if I record to my computer and not even have internet. So I want to live stream to YouTube as everyone's coming on board. I'm going to go to my account in YouTube. We'll go to It Is Training. Going public, so I'm recording in different modes. Preparing to live stream the meeting from Zoom to YouTube, waiting for that connection to happen. And of course, it's going to be a bit lag time because it still has to jump from it, but I see everybody's live in action. So I see that happening, and I can copy the URL to my notepad, where I know that I have YouTube going. And I can save my file till everybody's there. Okay. So, everybody, welcome. And I need everyone to turn on their cameras. Okay. Do I have any volunteers to moderate the chat? Yes, no? Okay. All right. So Emilio is one. Is there someone else that can be with Emilio and moderate the chat? Let me know if anyone has questions. Everybody, of course, has questions. Okay. And Clark, if you can see me afterwards, I see that your camera's not working. That's fine that you let me know. And see me after class. We need to make arrangements to set up. Okay. So we're ready to go. So did we have another volunteer from Emilio? Anyone else?
I can.
Okay, so Clark, why don't you do that? Let me know. You can chime in even though your camera's not on. I excuse that for today. And let me know if there's something that I need to cover. So I'm sure you all have welcome, first of all. And last time we met, we had the CEO and the founder of Fastbots.ai, and we'll go over that a bit today. And of course, we know that the next time we meet, we'll meet in person in the lab, same lab we met before in 204 School of Business. And today, I'll share my screen. We'll go over a review. I posted a review sheet. Many of you wanted to go over it, and I'll go over that today and answer any questions. So Emilio and Clark, let me know if there are additional questions, and I'll start. Okay, anything that I need to address, anything you know of an issue of you have with your projects, you can let me know, and we'll discuss that as well. Okay? Anything else?
For our project,
Yes.
we used a different site, so I emailed a lady and she kind of showed me how to do it, but I'm not sure if it's correct, so maybe you could stay after class.
Okay, so stay after class if you want to show it to me. Also, I'll have once Daniel's online, I'll have him put in the chat my my Zoom meeting after my second class. You know how each Zoom meeting it pertains differently. They set that up differently, but I'll put in the chat. So anybody that wants to see me after 6:15 today, I'll be online answering people's questions. If you want me to look at your project, I'll be happy. If you have additional questions on the exams, you can do that as well. Anything else? All right, so let me know when Daniel gets online, okay? And I'll let him know that. Okay, so let me share my screen. Anything else? Clark and Emilio, I'm ready to go. Is that okay? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And let me just share my screen. Okay. And this is okay. And let me make this full. We see this. Everybody's part of you see this as we're getting online. And let's go to our attention. Here's my Zoom. And basically, this is my notepad. And what we have today is we're going to cover Exam 2, multiple choice, open-ended questions. The exam again is Monday, November 18th, same time we begin. I suggest you come a few minutes late because we try to start exactly 3:35. I'll be there at 3:15, so if you have last-minute questions, you can ask me. So come, let me just put in here, come 10 minutes early. Bring your laptop, of course, for backup purposes. Install with Respondus. Bring a pictured ID. Bring your phone. and the exam will cover two of the chapters from last exam, which is chapters 4 and 5, which cover security and also data and data management, the cloud TG3, chapter 14, which is artificial intelligence, chapter 10, and chapter 12. The 10 was on management information systems, enterprise resource planning, and chapter 12 we discussed in terms of what's big there is analytics of descriptive analytics and also forecasting and prescriptive. And the readings, end of show, and you're open-ended. You can show examples from your projects and exercises. So let's look at the terms. So in this case of what's due, let me see on the what's due here of today was finishing up chapter 12 and your project. So let's go to, everybody go to PowerPoint and Documents, and under PowerPoint and Documents, let me turn this off so I can see the same thing you do. You should see Review Terms Exam 2. It should be on the top. Does everybody find that? Sebastian, did you see it? Okay, so it's there. I'm going to open it. It's in PDF. It's going to be opening up, and this is the exam review. So if you think about 4 and 5, it's the same concepts of 4 and 5. When you ask me, will there be the same questions from the first exam to the second exam? There could be. It's in the same concepts that we talked about before. We talk about risk anytime that I'm going to be doing anything with the computer, anytime I'm going to be doing anything on the internet. I'm going to think about the risks for my company. I'm also going to think about my data. My data is always going to be exposed, and since it's going to be exposed, there could be possible threats, and there are certain vulnerabilities, and I always have to measure what are the vulnerabilities versus what is the cost-benefit analysis. And as I said before, I can secure something for $1 million, but that asset could be only worth $10,000. So you always have to make trade-offs on that. We talked about controls, right? You need to know the difference between of a physical control, locking the computer room, locking the lab, the access that you have to, and notice if you want to go in the physical room to the lab, you need to have a cane ID to get in. Access is also if I want to get into Blackboard, if you want to go into the test that we're going to be taking on Monday. I only allow certain people the access. You have to be not only the access of a university student, but access registered in my class, and there's communication controls. One of the things we talk about communication controls is basically a lot of the firewalls to prevent what? Intruders coming in. We talked about VPN, which is a virtual private network, and that is when we go through the internet many times where we could talk about the word HTTP, right? If I were going to put in that word of hypertext transfer protocol, anytime my data is across the internet, it is in what we call text format. And you say, what's the difference with text format? The difference with text format is it's plain text that if it's captured, people can read it. Just like this PDF, I can read this without any type of encryption methods.
Professor,
Yes.
someone asked in the chat if there was a Quizlet available like last time.
I think you can, you know what, I don't, I'll check. I think one of the students last time did the Quizlet. But you know, that's a great question, Emilio. You know what I would do is use some of the Gen AI captions to actually help you study for the exam. like ChatGPT, like even Notebook, the Google Notebook LM, you can actually then put in then the PowerPoints to it, and then you can even put in these questions and ask it to give you multiple choice questions. Okay? So this was that other Quizlet, just another student had created it from last semester, so we gave that out. But thank you, Emilio. So that's a great example. So you could basically then just ask. You can do a bot that you can ask. You can do Call Annie. You can do Google LM. You can do Illuminate, and I don't care how you study. There's also, if you look at Wiley, also has some questions when you go to the Wiley book. So if I go to, what is it, the Wiley Reading and Adaptive, right? And then if I go to, let's say, this data, which is important for me, one of the things that with the data, you can ask questions. A lot of times with this Wiley Adaptive under Resources, and under these resources, you see where it says, you see here, Emilio, where it says practice?
Yes.
So in this case, if I ask for chapter 5, right, and then in this case, you can click down, you have practice questions there too, on managing data warehousing, knowledge management, right, on security. If I go back to chapter 4, information security, look at some additional practice questions. Introduction, right, unintentional threats to security. What does unintentional mean? Unintentional means that people, for instance, just forgot, put their password up, didn't pay attention, clicked on links that they did, responded to some social engineering delivered by hackers, what organizations are doing to protect it. And here is, like in this case, security controls. So basically here, access controls consists of, which confirms user identity and which determines user access levels. So you can basically consist of this, and then if I put in here each of these, I can then respond. Okay? So let me continue. Ransomware we talked about, paid by Bitcoin, risk mitigation. So what do I want to do? I want to reduce my risk. If I want to reduce my risk, there's different ways to do it. One is risk transference, and that means what? What does that mean, Sebastian? Risk trans.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What?
You cut off. Can you repeat
Yes. That? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Perfect. Risk transference. What does that mean? I always want to reduce my risk. Think about the university, right? Hackers are all the time happening, right? They can't keep up. We had the director of security. You remember, he came in, right? And yeah. he's nervous all the time, telling us, we should change our password, not, or this is good to collect our passwords. So what is risk transference?
Risk transferring is pretty much when you transfer the risk of an organization or individual to like a third party, yes.
Right, third party. We do it all the time with insurance, right? Insurance with our car, right? That, I go on the streets of Miami and I know what, number one, a lot of drivers are not insured. I know people are on drugs, people are drinking, people are texting, not paying attention. So what do I want to do? I want to transfer that risk. Instead of me taking all the burden, give it to someone else, transfer it. And that's what the university does, and a lot of enterprises do. Hey, guess what? We have insurance. But what about that insurance, Sebastian, is I have to do due diligence. The university still has to make sure that it's not a free-for-all. that they're basically now they're saying you have to have Duo, right, in order to make sure it's just not your email and the password. You have to have a device, whether it's a token or whether it's on the phone, to give it an extra 6 digits. That basically is unintentional. We talked about it. It's coming from the outside. Deliberate threats, those are hackers. Social engineering, we talked about before. That's when somebody's going to schmooze me and basically try to get information by being my friend or being pretending to be someone else. Type of software attacks. In table 4 of your reading, you can see the types of software attacks. Remote attacks requiring a user action. Remote attacks need no user action. And you can reach out to any of the Gen AI tools and work it. I just heard of Chegg. Have you heard of Chegg? Emilio, have you heard of the company CHEGG?
Yes.
What do you know about that company?
They provide answers for like assignments
Mm-hmm.
and projects and anything that you
Right,
need help
and
with.
they used to use, especially during COVID, they used to, people used to write them and say, this is my test question, help me answer those test questions. How do you think they're doing, Emilio, now?
I feel like they're probably doing a lot worse now because there's so many other
Right.
AI companies.
Right, and how much does it cost? You can ask the same questions from ChatGPT and others. They're killing them. They're basically, I think their stock was down 99% or something. I don't know even they're going to be in business. So you can see how they were. University professors and the administrators used to hate them, right? And book publishers saying, oh my goodness, the world is coming to the end. And then all of a sudden, a company like that were on top of the world, doing defending themselves, they had good lawyers, are out. So you can think about those sites. So we can think about how this is changing so much. So strategies for business continuity. If I get down, how am I going to improve? And then I talk about cold site, warm site, and hot site. What does that mean? That if in my business continuity plan, for instance, the university has a hurricane, how is it going to continue to do business? Notice, how is it going to continue to do business? When we thought we had a hurricane, what did they say? Hey, everybody goes online. For us, it wasn't a big deal. For others, it was. But a cold site is, there's another site, but if it basically takes down the whole internet or something, what are we going to do? Then we're in trouble. So then there's a cold site, meaning that we have a place outside of Miami that we're going to start. A warm site is, hey, we got a lot of the infrastructure. And a hot site, if for instance Amazon goes down, there's a hurricane, there's an earthquake in Washington State, they have other facilities that they're up and running. They don't miss a beat. So there's always difficulties in managing data. Why is it? Who owns the data? Can I rely on the data? Is the data instructive? So they have something called data governance. What does data governance mean? Data governance means that we have rules and regulations, procedures on what's going to happen to our data. Who's responsible to delete the data? Who's responsible to input the data? Who's responsible to verify the data? That is all around data governance. Database approach, we talked about it. A data file, right, is a column or in a spreadsheet is like a field. A record is like a row in a spreadsheet. And then we'll talk about what is cloud computing. The popular vendors of cloud computing you need to know. Amazon, which calls themselves AWS, Amazon Web Services. Microsoft calls themselves Azure. And Google also is in the cloud. So those three are big players. There's other big players. Types of cloud computing: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. We always are using software as a service, right? What are example software as a service? Wix. What's example software as a service? Everything we've done in class, Zoom, right? And then what is as a service? Over the internet. A platform is basically we can think about it as like the operating system and the infrastructure getting computers. Basically, remember when we did NinjaTrader, we had computers on the cloud using Azure. The platform was Windows and the software was NinjaTrader. We can either have a public cloud where we share space on a computer with other companies or other people. We can have a private cloud, meaning that I don't want anyone else to be on the same computer I have, or we can have a combination. Who uses a private? Private is more expensive, but who uses private? Private is going to be if I'm very concerned about my data. It may be banking may be an issue. It may be security of the CIA or the government, and hybrid is amount. Data, right? We talked about database management systems, the data hierarchy, problems to address. These were questions we had. What do you want to maximize in my database, and what do I want to minimize, right? And what are the issues here? A lot of times I have security problems because all my data is together, but I want to minimize my redundancy, right? I don't want to repeat over and over again my data. We talk about data mining. You need to know about this. Some of the terms that you don't, you can look in the book, and also you can use any of the other Gen AI tools and asking on what is data mining. What is artificial intelligence, the difference between machine learning versus deep learning, the Turing test. The Turing test basically allows us to say, hey, this was done many years ago, and it was saying, hey, could you differentiate, was that done by a computer, or was that done by an actual person? We talk about natural language processing that we're using all the time. It's now getting better and better. My voice to text, data mining and data visualization, and my dashboards. We talked about ERPs, or my enterprise resource planning. We looked at Workday. We looked at Salesforce for the purpose and trends. We talked about transaction processing systems. A transaction is any event. It's basically I buy a product, that's a transaction, and basically has to be processed in the system. Inventory has to be aware that this is taking. It needs to be accurate, secure, it's critical, and supporting my core operations. We talked about it again. TPS, data that I'm talking about, transaction processing systems is a business event. It goes to my database. And what's exception reporting? Exception reporting is many times the managers don't want to see everything. They want to see what is outstanding and what is out of the norm. Exception reporting, it may be for myself. Give me those students that really did below 50% on the exam. And give me those students that never attend class. And it may be exception reporting is give me those students that are always in class, that always ace all the exams, that are always attentive, that always participate, and those are my exceptions. And maybe in those exceptions, those on the top end, invite them to be teaching assistants in training or for next semester. A data warehouse, data mart, we're always talking about historical data, right? And in those cases, that data, and then we're going to try to find patterns, ask questions. We talked about security, right? We talked about social engineering, privacy, spyware, ransomware, viruses, keyloggers, business analytics, descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive. Descriptive is in the past. These two, predictive and prescriptive, are in the future. And here is going to tell me the whys in prescriptive, and predictive is going to give me a forecast, but doesn't tell me what should I do about the forecast. And these, basically, these are the sets that you can go through in those cases, the multiple choice, go through the chapter quizzes, go through also the Wiley quizzes. You can even ask some of the, there's quizzes online. You can ask some of the Gen AI products to not only tell you about it, but create quizzes for you as well. Okay, Emilio, any questions that I have to answer on the multiple choice? It'll be 60 questions, just like the same as last semester. And people ask me, is it curved? It will be curved. Okay? The next one, you will ask for 2 open-ended questions. What I have here is these open-ended questions. You can use other sites as well, but I'm using these sites to give me some ideas here. These were readings that you were required to do, and you can see on number 1, it's from what are the subfields of AI, how is AI applied to business applications, and what are the challenges of AI. And if I click on this link and open it in a new tab, you can see that you can get this information from other ways, but I like this article, but there's hundreds of articles of what it is and why it matters. And it's basically artificial intelligence makes it possible for machines to learn from experience, adjust to new inputs, and perform human-like tasks. Most AI, from chess playing and all, here's the history of it. I'm not going to ask you a lot of the history questions, but you can see there of neural nets, machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. You can see this is really the way in which it proceeded. So when people say artificial intelligence, notice it was started even in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, and machine learning was in the 80s and early 2000s. Then deep learning, and especially Google, was a one where they talked about autonomous automobiles and other deep learning parts, and then just basically generative AI was disruptive because it was so easy for regular folks to use it. Business people, just from even elementary school and on. And here is a part of what is generative AI, why is artificial intelligence important. I'd like it pondering here. They have the podcast. We even did you can do a podcast for yourself. It's being used. Where's it being used? And you can go to different sites. But this one I like, kind of, it gives you an overview. And these questions that I have here is, what are the subfields? How is it applied to business applications? What are the challenges? And then I have on cloud computing. I'm using 2 references here, one from Microsoft and one from Amazon, looking at what is cloud computing, what are the benefits, what are types of cloud computing, and explain what are the types of cloud services, what are the business uses. And then when I'm even looking at Johan, each question will also say, show examples from your project and exercises. So for instance, in this case, what's the problem Johan was telling me is that all of a sudden Wix, the server, was working last week as URL, and now it's not working. So the problem with cloud is that you're not in control. So you can look at these, and I like these, both of these websites that you look at, and they're very similar to each other because they really compete with each other. So this is really nice. What is cloud computing? The idea that it's on demand, you need to do it. And when you're answering these questions, I was a bit generous the first exam, but you need to show it's not enough to have 4 bullet points and think that you're going to get a good grade on the question. You have to actually explain what it is. What is, am I asking, what is cloud computing? You don't have to write reams and reams, but you have to show what it is, right? Who's using it, the benefits, right, of agility, elasticity, right? That basically I can move fast, I can go in and out. The ability is with what I have, I can scale up, I can scale down. What's the beauty here of elasticity? Meaning I don't have to basically know in advance all my future resources. So I'm just starting as a startup. I don't need that many computers. I don't need that much RAM. I don't need more important CPUs or GPUs. Cost savings, how it is, because I don't have to invest in hardware. I can basically get other people to employ it for me. I basically have an IT, and here it talks about infrastructure as a service, what is platform as a service, what is software as a service, and pretty much then shows in each of these retail environments. And guess what? I bet you since they compete, Amazon, open in a new tab, Amazon, I bet, will be very similar. And if I look at Amazon, you can see this is Amazon. Is this Amazon too? Oh, I did twice. I was wondering why they looked alike. Oh, yeah. They look so much alike, they almost look like the same company. Well, they are. So I don't need two of these, right? So, and I look at my quest is, yeah, okay, so it says I took too long. But Azure would be the same, giving me that name, Azure would be the same. Questions on that? Any questions, Emilio, now that I have you here on my screen, that somebody has on the cloud computing? Or do you have any?
I don't have any, and there's nothing in the chat.
Okay, and it's pretty straightforward, right? And basically, that last question here I would ask is basically, how are you using that cloud computing, and what are the disadvantages possibly, right? You used it was great when you didn't have, we used NinjaTrader, right? And if you didn't have Windows, you could get access, right? Or you didn't have access to that, you could have it. What are the disadvantages? Is it could be slower than having it on premise. Okay? And the third question is about Gen AI. What is, in this case, if I look at it is what is generative AI and how does it differ from traditional AI and machine learning? What are the benefits and limitations of generative AI? What are the cases of generative AI by industry? What are the concerns of generative, and how did you apply? I'm asking how did you apply Gen AI in your project? Right? So, Emilio, if you think about it, what are the apps that we basically did an entire project looking at Gen AI apps, right? And talking a bit about that. And here are some articles here, one on Gen AI, and this one was opening in the new tab just to make sure that all the links, make sure all my links are working, right, folks? Let me know here. And this is basically that generative AI. Again, think about what is it and why it matters, and you can see here how it differs. My traditional AI machine learning, always looking at patterns in my data to do what? Make predictions. But in this case, basically, how is generative AI, and the big one to claim to fame is, right, ChatGPT, but generating this, and you guys know this. So they talk about real world application, the evolution, generative AI, policymakers, who's using it, and basically this is changing all the time, right? And everybody's kind of doing it. Digital twins, what are large language models, right? The large language model is a powerful machine learning model that can process complex information, natural language, generate text, have conversations, and they do rely on deep learning and neural nets, and then basically showing that to the public and having all those billions of one. They talk about an algorithm, right? We know what an algorithm, artificial intelligence, deep learning. So this is good that you can basically see that. Okay, and going back to that, it was the same thing on this article of open in a new tab, right? That this basically, if I look at it, is what is Gen AI explained. The technology, and they all kind of give you the history so you get a feel for it. The DALI, the evolution, right, that you can go through, some models, DALI chat. You notice it's a little bit old because it talks about in this case, waves, and it keeps on moving all the time. And then the other one that I'm looking at is that I think about number 4 here is what is, it's on artificial intelligence, is what is machine learning, what is the difference between machine learning and AI, which industries are using machine learning. And if I think about machine learning versus my traditional computing, is that machine learning is trying to learn from its mistakes. It's trying each time to come up and get better. And that's the thing now in terms of Gen AI, a lot of times it's hallucinating, right? And not giving you the correct answers, and that's the difference. And which industries are using machine learning, and what's the difference between machine learning, data mining, and deep learning. And you can even, if in this case don't want to do those readings, you can put those readings in and have a podcast and have it do. And if you learn better in oral, you can do better things in oral. And that's it. So you now know the open-ended questions. And you know that I will ask two of those open-ended questions. And you know it's probably beyond, if it were my betting, I really know well the, cloud computing and Gen AI and, the differences. If I had to bet, if I had to put my resources. But they kind of go together, Once I know Gen AI, I still know the background, so it's good to have on my neural nets and my machine learning and traditional AI. So Daniel, somebody was asking me in the beginning, one of the questions was the Quizlet. You remember you took from, I guess, from...
Yeah, there's another one for this as well.
There is. Do you want to put it, or you can take that text, put that in, you want to put that, do you have it, or you can then post it?
I'll put it in the study guide.
Yeah, put it in the study guide. Just take that study.
PowerPoint documents?
Yeah, it's the first one in the PowerPoint document, so then you can just...
Yeah, it looks, I can already put the Quizlet for exam 2 in the chat.
Okay. So we can do that. So, Daniel, let's do that. Make sure you put an announcement in case people weren't here about the review. The review term is listed, and then you can give them the Quizlet link. And what I said is you can even use a lot of the Gen AI tools to create your own quizzes and study guides from it as well.
They make it so easy now.
Right, aren't they? And I'm just saying, like that Notebook LM, some of you that are doing education ones or tutoring, you can, as you're studying, you can record those and update it to the internet. And what about, what happened with FastBot, Daniel?
So he provided instructions and codes. Each group only needs one code.
Okay.
And then all the other people in the group can sign up for the free account and be added.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with Wix, where you have to put your credit card, but it won't charge you, and you have to make sure to cancel at the end.
Okay. And you know what I was thinking too? If people don't want to even put in their credit card,
they can use the free.
You can use the free and create it with your free. And what I would do is I would even record it, that you use it use the free. You can put that, you can upload the recording, and then not only put a free, if you're going to put the fastbot, that chatbot in your website, basically test it out and ask it questions. Just don't put it in, but you actually basically quiz it and then go back and make some differences or make some changes to it, or ask different types of questions. Rather, what can I help you with, but make it more specific about what your company is, or do you want to know about our plans or something like that. So what I would do for this one, since there really isn't that much of a difference since we're using it, Daniel, what do you think? I think people should just go ahead and do unless you're going to be doing it with a number of people in your group. If like one person, it only takes one person to do it, use the free version, then you don't have to worry about a credit card. For Wix, it was really important. Everybody can get that domain name. You can basically use it afterwards. It helps in searching. But what I want is when you do even your presentation, when you show all the features in your website, you'll show, for instance, how you created your podcast, is play it a little bit to see how it is in your presentation, making sure it is. And then if you make sure that you changed that podcast and made it a little bit different, talk about how you made the differences and maybe even have slides on how you changed the podcast. And the same thing with the fastbot. When you get it in the fastbot, show basically ways in which you queried. You can even do a couple of slides on that, that it worked and what kind of questions it did, and you can evaluate it. We have no vested interest in these companies, so you can even say, here are the issues with that product, and you can even take fastbot as one of your apps and reuse it, you understand, and do a video of it in your project.
Yeah.
So do you see? I don't see right now, since we're we have so little time left. You understand? We're not going to be using it anymore. That one chatbot is enough for us. We're not going to get, millions of hits on our site where we're having to upgrade. What do you think, Daniel?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say recommend, if you really want it, put in your credit card and so forth, but I would recommend just doing the free version of Fastbots. And what I like, let me just share with you, just as a part, let me just share my screen,
The Quizlet is also live on it's on the PowerPoint document section.
Okay, great, perfect. This is Fastbot's website. And what I wanted you to look at Fastbot's website is just how you can even look at your website and make this a model. What I like about it, Fastbot, right away, you remember how I said have a tagline, is learn how to build your own chatbot in our training webinar. Help customers 24/7 with custom AI chatbots, right there. Because here it says sign up, no credit card required. I'd sign up with no credit card required. And this I liked. You see this, Daniel? It already shows what formats you have to just enter. PDF, you can use XLS, doc, text, URLs, YouTube. And then he shows, which we aren't, right? Provide AI to trusted brand in the world. You can put in your website potential sponsors, but you know what I mean? But here's what he has, and this is what I like too. Do you see here of what is step 1? Import the data, add a website, docx, text, PDF, CSV, or even YouTube video securely into your chatbot in minutes. Choose your welcome message, chat icon, and here the welcome message, I would change the welcome message because I think the welcome message is too generic. you know, so you can almost focus it and start. You simply grab the link to your custom chatbot or embed in the website. And did he give us, I know in his help section he has a little video of Wix. You can put under help, you find Wix. But did he send it to us or no? Dan?
He did not.
Okay, but you can just type in, I think in terms of help, you just type in Wix and he has a little video that's available. And you can find that, and maybe we can post that link for the help on how to do the Wix chatbot. And notice he does also here, he's doing like a screen recorder. And he basically records a screen of just exactly what you wanted to do in each one, just like we were doing. You can show that as well. Our chatbots integrate with, and then he has that build your first and choose your AI, import, branding, and add your chatbot to any website. And you can see here it's Wix. And install on any platform by adding one line of code, translate, automatic lead, connect, automated dating, just a few ways, and he kind of gives a use case study. Start enjoying, and here he is, right? This is interesting here. We don't need more than one chatbot. 50 messages per month is more than enough. Don't you think so, Daniel? I can't see us using more. 500 characters. Call websites up to 500 pages. We don't have more than 500 pages, that's for sure. Chat history. And they use then, you can use then Chat 4.0, which is good enough, right? Claude.
It's 4.0 mini. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, if the main upgrade is that you can use a bunch of different
right,
LLMs,
right,
but
right.
if you don't need that, you don't need it.
Right. But you decide. I give you a choice. We're going to be able to use this. So what's he allowing to choose, the 40 or the essential? Which one, or did he say?
40.
The $40. So it may not be. You decide. Oh, and this also do chat translation. So if you're really thinking about it, and how long is he letting us do it for?
2 months.
2 months. So this may be, if you're really thinking about getting into business, then it's worth it. You know what I mean? Then might as well take advantage of it. Because you have, you do 5,000, you do 15, you can crawl, chat, I like the chat translation. So when people ask you in Spanish, you can get it in English or vice versa, or anywhere in the world. They give it you in Arabic. You don't know Arabic, it translates, right? Leads, integrations, and then they give you a lot more language models. You can retrain it, and 5 team members. If you want, but I'm not going, I wanted to require everybody to do the business plan on the Wix. I'm not going to make that requirement. And we'll see. And this is interesting if you think about it. Emilio, you see here on reseller is that basically you could resell this. So then it's $249, but you could actually do this as a service. Hey, I'll create then chatbots for people. Right? And then you could have a whole team work on it for a number of different companies. So then it may even be, see, included in the FastBots agency program. So you do it for other companies, and then if you did it for an enterprise, right, requirements existing, then you get it, or fully managed. If you would like us, see, he's even trying, he's like that Amazon. If you would like us to build and fully manage, please get in contact. So if, for instance, the university wanted a fastback, they say, you know, we don't have time to bother. Can you do it for us? Remember, Daniel, like he did it? He'll do a price and say, hey, we'll take care of it. So you can, he does this reseller kind of thing where he resells it. He's saying, you never know. If there are companies that want us to do it, we'll do it. What does it cost that? You know, it's almost great money. And flexible extra chat boxes, extra data, remove branding. So you don't want it to look like $29 a month if you don't, it looks like your own, right? Sebastian, you go in business, right? And basically you do this for other companies. It doesn't even look like Fastbot. It looks like Sebastian's company, whatever it is. For $29 a month, if you made it as a business, it's nothing. Custom domain, use your own domain name in the embedded code and share URLs for the other chatbots, business owners, and then he has testimonials, then he has this, incorporate your custom chatbots in your business information, right? Training purposes, right? Contact us. We got contacted right on there. But it's nice, and then he says made in Great Britain, right? And then he has basically, and then he's eating his own dog food, right? Welcome, how can I help you today? See, this is so generic here, I would basically see something different, but it's straight up. Okay, questions? So I just wanted to share that with you. So I think change that a bit, Daniel, and we'll look for it for the, let's look for it for the Wix, for the Wix help. There's a video that he showed me. We can do that offline, and then we can provide it to students. Let's have the students just right now focusing on the exam, for Monday, for those that want to do it. And then make it as, I think, make it as a choice. You want to do it, the free one. You want to try it out because you're really considering, hey, I really think maybe I can make this as a side business. Then, hey, having it for 2 months, it's worth it to explore it. What else? Clark, anything else I need to address, you think, for the students and for yourself?
No.
Straightforward. So we'll see each other. Anything else? So I'll end a bit early today so you can stay with me and answer any of my specific any of your specific questions. Let me just do the attendance. And let me go to attendance. And let me do check-in, start check-in, and today's number is 1510. So stay with me if you have additional questions. What did you post then, Daniel?
I just put the Quizlet on the study guide.
Perfect. Everybody liked your Quizlet. Okay.
Thank Dylan.
Yeah.
Legacy.
Right. We should say put his as a former teaching assistant added. I think he added it when he was an industrious student in the class. Right.
Exactly. And that helped me greatly when I was a student.
Okay, good. So that's what I always say is pass on the kindness. Right? So that's always a help. Okay? So everybody got the amount 1510.
My Blackboard isn't working. I'm not able to get it.
Okay. So
is there any way I can?
Yeah, Daniel, do you mind putting in Sebastian Hernandez?
Sebastian. Got you, buddy.
Okay.
Right, thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Okay, you too. Keep up the good work and attitude. Okay, what else? Who else do I need? Anything else? Dalton, did you get your attendance? Everybody got the attendance in? I'm gonna stop sharing, and then others if we have it. Okay, so let's deal with everyone's issue. So Dalton, let me stop recording, right? Remember, need to know. You want to stop recording? Yes. This is my area where I make sure the need to know. Okay. No recordings, and we're all free here. So Dalton, what's up?
So I emailed the Wix lady trying to transfer our new website with the premium, and she said there was a way to do it. She ended up sending the link to it, and then when I followed the link, I still get a little bit confused.
And what lady was this that allowed you to
The one
do?
who came and spoke to us. It was
Ellery, and what she give you
ELLY.
instructions?
She just sent like basically follow this link and it should tell you how to, and then I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't really give any direction besides that. Like I don't know which account I'm supposed to transfer to which one because they're both under the same email. Let me share my screen real quick so you can see.
Yeah, let me. So what did she say here? Let me just.
So this is our new website.
Yeah.
It says like go here, transfer the site. I think I'm supposed to do it to like somebody in my group, but I'm not 100% sure.
Who will be the new site on?
Add the premiums.
So it seems like it.
No, that's changing who owns the site.
That's transferring the site to a new owner. That's not transferring. She may not have understood you. How much work is it? So what is it that you change? Remind me, you changed topic? What was the idea?
So yeah, we changed our whole domain name, and then the site, like, it just looks. Hold on, let me.
So it looks a lot better.
It's just so much better, yeah. Absolutely. Well, this is like. So yeah, it's just this and like this. Just
Yeah, it looks like her instructions were to change your.
All the how it works, our team, and all of these are like. Press book now. It brings you to a new page to set up full appointment.
And okay. And do you have it? Do you have all of this? You have it without upgrading all of this in?
Yeah, so I can't share it with my team for them to also edit.
Why can you not share it with your team? With your team?
I mean, if there is a way.
Because you're now they're not doing the collaborators.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's the problem. And how much work would it be to redo it? Under somebody, a lot, huh? Okay, so let's talk about it. Maybe we can do something where it's not with the domain name. You can kind of show it. You can show it for the class with all. Is there some features you cannot do?
Well, like, I mean, I would just have to basically do everything on the project.
Oh, because they're not working on it. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, no, that's not going to be good. Yeah, you may have to. Yeah, maybe.
I wonder if you could upgrade twice.
Try it. Have you tried upgrading twice?
Yeah.
And what happens? Think about it. Why don't you do this? Set up a time with Daniel Dalton that we can work through it, and if there's problems, then we can reach out to Wix, their support, that we can have them do something like special or something, or use another. But the question is, use another. Maybe have somebody and use another credit card. You have 2 credit cards?
I do.
And use another credit card and see if they'll let you do it. I bet you they'll do it with another credit card. Cancel the other one. Don't cancel it. You understand? Because you still have it. Try it with another credit card number. First try it with the same. First try it with the same. You know what I mean? And then go up. What?
I was going to send just Daniel an email just for time.
Yes, and then you can work it out together and see. Daniel, work it out together and find. We'll try something. You know what I mean? We're not cheating. You know what I mean? But try something that we're doing and make sure that you get 0. Don't ever get it without seeing that it's 0 on your account.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, then you can cancel it. You understand?
Okay.
Let's do, and then because that's it. They just changed that, the 5. Silly, in my opinion, silly, but they didn't ask me, right? Okay. All right, perfect. Let's go to the others. Okay, who do I have here? JC, what's up? Did JC leave me? Okay. Aaron, what's up?
Aaron?
Jake, what's up?
Yeah, there's two things. One, like, I sent you an email, so like I'm getting back. I already met with my group, and like we're already like doing everything, so everything's good.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And for the test for that's like on Monday.
Yeah.
So I studied the Quizlet, like the last one,
Yeah.
and I didn't do the best.
Okay, so you do better this time. So study with somebody in your group.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
did pretty,
All right. And how'd you do in the open-ended?
I did really good on the
Okay, so you'll it's curved too. The multiple choice were curved. Okay. Okay.
And my phone wasn't letting me input the Blackboard attendance code too.
Okay. Daniel will be so kind and do that for you. Okay, Jake?
Thank you, Daniel. All right,
thank you.
Guys.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
take care. We'll see you Monday.
Take care.
Okay, and Sasha, what's up with you? Sasha, you're here? And Aaron, is he not kind of knowing he's still in here or what? Okay, so Sasha's not.
Possible.
It's possible. It looks like it. And Sasha. Okay, Clark. Clark, the idea here is this, Clark. If you look at the course syllabus, there's no makeups on my course syllabus. If you have if you have a valid, documented reason that's given to me in advance, I can give you an approval. But I haven't gotten anything in documentation from you, Clark.
Yes, so I was talking to my advisor who is running the thing, and the whole issue is that the event date was changed to the day of the actual exam. And I was looking back at the syllabus, and it was saying that with an excused absence, the prior exam can count as both. Yeah,
but I need to know, but what is this event?
Right.
You need to send me documentation on this, you know?
So I sent her an email, and so you should be getting something by the end of the week of actual official documentation of what's going on, so that you are in the loop as well.
Yeah, I need to be in the, of course. It's not like I'm an extra here in this party. I like it, Clark, that I don't need to be in the loop, but rather I need to make a decision on what's happening.
Right, not in the sense that...
I know, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to be... Okay.
But I was just hoping, once you see the actual documentation, since I'm...
Okay, because you were very vague on it the last time. You understand? So, you know what I mean? You are one of my best students, Clark. And
that's all I was hoping for.
Yes. Okay, but you have to... Okay, so you...
And you will get the documentation by the end of the week.
Okay, well, that's short time. I wanted to... Today is Wednesday, and the exam is on Monday. So I need to make a decision, not at the end of the week. What is... I don't understand what the holdup is. At least you can explain to me what the... Put it in an email to me tonight after the class and explain to me what this event is and why is it so urgent for you to do rather than in skipping an exam.
Okay.
And is this university based or what?
This is the organization within the university.
Okay.
I'm a part of that. I've been working hard all semester.
Okay, so you can tell your advisor that it's not by the end of the week, that it needs to be done by the end of the day, and you know that my instructor needs to make a decision. I needed this, weeks ago in order to follow. I need to follow still the same procedures. Okay? So send me at least what this is, and then have your advisor and your advisor then you have my your advisor can send me an email on it, and she needs my number. She can call me.
Okay, I sent her your email, so
send her my email and tell her that it's urgent, that she needs to, that you just can't wait till the end of the week and me being in the loop, and that it's changed the dates, okay? And then we can make a decision on it.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so I think Aaron has just anything. Okay, so what do I need, Daniel, from you?
I mean, we're pretty good.
I think we are too. The only thing is, if I think you saw my note there, send Savannah and the crew there, and
Yep, I'm gonna send that
and
email
and
out,
and
tonight.
Jose, and there's a whole group. You remember from the same thing as from last time, that we want them at 3:15 to set up the mic, and to have some people
I'll
there
just
for.
reply to that chain of emails.
Hi, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I'm so sorry about that.
Did you want something, Aaron?
Oh, no worries.
Okay, all right. Thank you. See you.
How are you doing, though?
Okay, all right, fine. Thank you. How are you doing? How's your group?
They're doing well. I really like them.
Okay, but
You know,
you
we're
got to.
working
Are you up
together.
to speed? Did you do? Did you hear about the fast spot? You can decide whether you want. What do you think you want to do? The fast spot, the free one, or try to do the upgrade?
We're not sure about that yet. We need to, we were planning to discuss it after class.
Okay, so decide then on that. Okay,
Yeah.
Aaron. So
Awesome.
you need to decide on that, and hopefully we can use you on Wednesday. We'll showcase your project.
Perfect.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. What else? And the second. Yeah. Go
There's
ahead.
one thing. So I'm trying to take a Finance 303 section, and
Yeah.
only one is at 335, but I would still be able to do 505.
Okay, so
Is it possible to flip it, or I can try to do
Flip.
something else? But
I prefer you to be at the 30, and I'll tell you why. Is a lot of times when something comes up, then we say, "Oh, okay, this came up, and now duplicate it for the 5 and the 7." If it's impossible, it's impossible, right?
like, I don't want this at all. But
I know, but maybe you can get something else. You know what I mean? Of all the is the finance the
tried.
second
I explained-
finance?
Yeah, I spent I think it was about 45 minutes with her explaining this, and she said I can't really.
That there is, it's not
this
available.
class is empty.
What?
There's only one that's available, and that's that. Now the other thing is if it opens in an intersession or something.
And this is what second? I doubt if it'll open up as an intersession, or maybe in the summer. I don't know.
Yeah, this is second finance.
It's a second finance, and don't they have other? Can't you be on a waiting list of the other ones?
I am.
You are.
So
Okay, but if you're in one, does the waiting list take precedent? Or once you're in, the waiting
no.
list doesn't?
So I set it up where I'm on the wait list for 2 different sections in the same course, but I'm enrolled in one. Somehow it works. I don't know how.
It does. Okay, but they accept the waiting list.
Yeah. So
Then the system isn't like, oh, he's in, we're going to skip because he's in another.
No. I asked her about it.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
It's far from ideal, and the schedule's not going to be.
Okay, but it'll be the 5:05. You'll be available. Okay.
Certain, 100%. If not, hopefully things change.
Okay. All right. Okay. You know what my preference is, but if that's it, you know what I mean. You proceeding is important too. But
Believe me, I don't want it either.
Oh, okay.
It's an online class too.
It's online. That's why it's available.
Instead of being at home.
What?
Like, because of the scheduling, I'd have to spend a lot of my day doing online classes at campus instead of at home.
Yeah. Okay, so they're doing it online. That's weird. But
I think I'm taking like 4 online classes.
Really?
I don't know what's going on, but the only ones that were open were online.
Okay, maybe that's why. Because people want in person. Okay, all right.
Also, they added extra sections, and I guess the online makes sense for that.
Yeah, because then they can get anybody. They can be anywhere in the world,
exactly.
and they can get an adjunct.
Yeah. It's because I was 1 credit shy of the next registration date, so I missed everything.
Oh, miss being early, you mean?
Like I was at 59 credits instead of 60.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
not good. I had to
Okay.
register with the sophomores instead of the juniors.
Oh, okay. So you get more clout. Okay. All right. Anyways, we'll work it out. Don't worry about it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
This
figure.
is not final by any means.
Yeah, we'll figure it
will
out.
change.
It's not. Let that be our worst problem, right? Okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So at least I have you for physically for even one, and then maybe later on it can switch.
Absolutely one.
Okay.
And maybe two. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. All right, Daniel. Okay, let me get to the next class. Anything else I need to do? So you put the Quizlet on the, of course, on the other one, right?
Yeah, I put on both.
Jay.
And then I'll be here also, like 6:20.
Okay, so come in and we'll see what are the issues. By the way, we had an interesting conversation with Jason. You know, the Anders, and who we're asking the question, Anders and Amelie. We're asking them.
Yeah, I went back and I actually listened to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Seemed like you guys said.
Yeah. So.
And you used his website, right? The KWTO.
Yes, he put it in. So we used it. Okay. So anyways, we'll see what it works out with. But I'm saying they were the only two that asked, but it was interesting questions they asked. Okay, perfect. Okay. So we'll why don't we do this? We'll have the talk later. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Ciao. And you have the Quizlet, you put it. So the Quizlet is just in the PDF?
No, it's in the description.
You just put it in there. Okay, perfect. I'll see it. Okay. Take care. I'll get online.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Professor, I'm having some issues with Zoom, so I'm gonna log back on in like 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Issues. That's the name of our class. BTE issues is our class name. I have issues every day too. When don't I have issues, huh? Just what do we have to do? We have to take a couple of deep breaths and then document. That's what we got to do. We'll see. That's the problem with all this cloud, right? One of the questions could be, right, open-ended, right? Benefits and disadvantages, right? Ava, you're so smiling today, huh? You got the whole framework. Okay. So we're getting online. Hopefully, it's a little bit delayed, always for us, but we can do it. So I'll start recording. I'll record to the cloud. Go to YouTube. I'll live stream to YouTube.